From Abuja, the nation's capital, this is Matters Arising, coming to you live from the studio of KAFTAN TV. Matters Arising is the flagship talk show of KAFTAN television that features in-depth discussions and analysis of topical and trending national and international issues by our team of seasoned broadcast journalists. My name is Maucauley Hunohashi, saying thanks for joining us.
I am John Okoro. Welcome to the program.
And I am Catherine Agbo. Nice to be with you on the program.
We welcome you to today's show, which promises to be engaging, incisive, and interactive. You can also be a part of the conversation by calling our phone number 0802-993-8365. I'll take it again, 0802-993-8365. It will be displayed on your screen in the course of the show. Well, guys, the rains are here again. It's been raining in Abuja in the past 7 days or so. Abuja is a very, very wet city. How are you coping? John? Catherine?
Yeah, it's not easy. Constant rain every day comes with some level of discomfort.
And disruptions.
And disruptions, you know. But it's a situation that we have to deal with. It's the weather, and this is the season. You know, it's just that during these times, you can't help but wonder how people who do petty businesses that depend on good weather to cope, you know, to carry on their business and surviving.
In fact, I had to talk about the rain because I had to do some things outdoors. So we're talking about it, and somebody told me that, do you know that this past Tuesday, yesterday, was actually 7 good days of continuous rain in Abuja here, and that it's going to continue till next week. There's going to be 14 days non-stop. That's it's just starting, and that's the weather.
That's the weather.
There's nothing we can do about it.
I have a friend who has complained so bitterly that he has put his clothes on the line for the past 5 days. And he can't use those clothes because you have to dry.
You know, it's what almost everybody is facing.
It's experience, yes.
You know, and you know what this also means is that there's going to be a baby boom because the weather is also
in the next 9 months or so. We're going to watch out.
Hitting 300 million now?
Maybe 300 million. It sounds like prophecy. Are you being prophetic or? This is science.
Oh well, the weather is just conducive for
the other room.
For the other rooms.
Well, on that hilarious note, before we introduce our topic of discussions, let's join Sifon Umo for a quick roundup of events and happenings in the polity.
President Bola Tinubu has appealed to aggrieved Nigerians, especially youths, who are planning a national protest over the high cost of living to shelve the action. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, conveyed the president's message while speaking with State House correspondents at the presidential villa in Abuja. The minister quoted the president as saying that he listens to Nigerians and takes what they say seriously, and he is working assiduously to ensure that the country is good not just for today but also for the future. The president's message comes in the wake of a planned national protest scheduled to start on August 1st to draw the attention of government to the hardship and the rising cost of living being experienced by Nigerians at the moment. The State and the House of Representatives have passed the National Minimum Wage Act 2019 Amendment Bill. The bill, which scaled second and third readings at both chambers, was transmitted by President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday. In a unanimous vote after a clause-by-clause consideration at the Committee of the Whole, the National Minimum Wage Bill passed. President Tinubu is expected to give an expeditious assent to the bill as soon as it is transmitted to him. In a related development, the National Assembly has passed the Police Act Amendment Bill to enable a person appointed to the office of Inspector General of Police to remain in office until the end of the tenure stipulated in the letter of appointment. The bill for an act to amend the Nigeria Police Act 2020 seeks to guarantee the tenure of the IGP and improve police operations by enhancing accountability, modernizing policing methods, and fostering a more harmonious relationship between the police and the community. The bill, which was forwarded to the National Assembly by President Tinubu, was given accelerated hearing separately by both chambers and was quickly passed after scaling through second and third readings on Tuesday. The federal government has announced a slash in allowances of foreign scholars who are currently studying in Russia, Morocco, Algeria, among others, by 12.7% due to economic hardship in Nigeria. This development is contained in a memo signed by the Director of the Federal Scholarship Board, Ndajiwo HA, on behalf of the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman. The students are studying under the federal government's bilateral educational agreement scholarship, which was established for the purpose of education exchange between Nigeria and the partnering countries. And that is all on the news roundup. I am Sifon Umo.
Welcome back, and thanks to Sifon for taking us up to speed with news-making headlines. And now to our topic of discussion tonight, which is the planned nationwide protest. There has been palpable tension in Nigeria due to the clamor for by some youths to begin a 10-day nationwide protest over the rising cost of living and the economic hardship in the country, which they blame squarely on the removal of fuel subsidy, the floating of the naira, and other economic reforms being implemented by the Tinubu administration. The planned demonstration, which was said to have been inspired by the recent Kenya protest and set to begin on the first day of August 2024, has gained traction on social media, where it is trending under the hashtag #EndBadGovernance, Tinubu Must Go, and hashtag Revolution 2024. As the D-Day draws nearer, reactions have continued to trail the planned protest, with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu appealing to the organizers to shelve the plan. The appeal was made known by Information and National Orientation Minister Mohammed Idris, who briefed State House correspondents after a meeting with the president on Tuesday. Idris said President Tinubu has urged the organizers to await the president's response to their complaints, as he is not unmindful of the hardships Nigerians are currently facing. But the planned nationwide protest has been replete with so much drama, ranging from withdrawals by demographics across the nation to full endorsement by politicians and accusations by government officials, with consequences of the prospects for litigations. Guys, when I first read about this planned nationwide protest, what crossed my mind was the hashtag #EndSARS protest of 8 October 2020, which left in its wake tales of sorrow, tears, and blood that followed what was supposedly intended to be a well-intentioned exercise, but it ended up, snowballing into something that, that became very, very unbearable, to the extent that it was even hijacked by some, undesirable elements or reprobates that saw the opportunity to take it over, and there was, wanton looting, there was destruction of property, and even the president's, property got burnt. Was it a hotel that was set, even TVC? Yeah, the media outfit of the current president, was touched was affected by people, youths who set it on fire. So, Nigerians are asking, there are reactions, like I said in the intro. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Elijah Chukwuka, has reacted. He has endorsed the planned protest, saying the time is auspicious for youth to hold that kind of protest. So many people have been reacting. But my takeaway out of this is that truly, for the handlers of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, there's no, concrete strategic communication to dissuade the planners of this thing, from holding it. Well, Amnesty International also backed the planners of this protest by saying it is their right to hold this demonstration. But in holding this demonstration, is the time auspicious? Is it timely? Will this demonstration, reverse the downward trend of the economy? Will it reverse the cost of foodstuff that has shot through the roof? These are the questions Nigerians are asking.
Well, if you ask me, I will tell you that some or quite a lot of the changes that we have experienced across the world today came as a result of protests. It is the inalienable right of the people to speak out when they feel that they have been pushed to the wall by the establishment. And the authorities here in the country, starting from the presidency, even to the police authorities, they have acknowledged that it is the right of Nigerians to protest.
Yes, it is.
However, it is the procedures, how the protest and what becomes of the protest and what becomes the aftermath and the exit plan of the protest that is the main issue here. But whether people can protest, that is it. And what I expect government to be doing at a time like this is not to be, bringing some interest groups who will be saying, we are opting out. We are not part of this. We are not endorsing the protest. Rather, because today, a group of people who go by the name charismatic bishops actually visited the Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris Malagi, today in his office, and
dissociated themselves.
And so that is not what is needed now, because whether you like it or not, there is problem in the land.
Yeah, that's right.
There is problem in the land. There's anyone who doesn't understand what this nation, the nation is teetering on the precipice as we speak. And therefore, it is incumbent on the government. A desperate tragedy needs a desperate remedy.
Okay.
And now is the time.
Well, as you both have said, it is the right of citizens to protest, and that right cannot be taken away from them. But the question to also ask is that when you start this protest, how are you going to be able to control things in a way that the protest is not hijacked and that it doesn't snowball into something that that will cause chaos in the country? Because the truth of the matter is that there is hardship in the country. People are going through a lot, and tempers are high. So it shouldn't be a situation where you start a protest, then looters or arsonists hijack the protest, and then they begin to wantonly destroy property, loot people's businesses and the likes, as it was in previous protests that we witnessed, in the country. The good thing for me is that the government is responding. Let me say the government is responding. The people, the masses, even though they have not carried out that protest, the masses have spoken out very loud and clear. And I think the government by now understands that people are very serious. That is why you can see that as at yesterday, the Minister of Information had to, address the press to say that the president has asked that, the protest be shelved, that they are working on something, that he's going to speak to Nigerians to address their concerns. Today, the ministers had, a meeting with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and all of these things are the efforts that the government is, making to see, to address the issues that citizens have brought to the table. But the fact and the truth of the matter is that there is hardship in the country. Another question to also ask is that this situation we are experiencing, is it solely the fault of the Tinubu administration, which has spent 1 year in office?
Catherine, we have a caller. Good evening. This is Matters Arising from KAFTAN Television Studios in Abuja.
Okay, good evening.
Your name, please, and where you're calling from. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. It's not enough to promise and say that you have paid and the content of the man you want.
the caller. Go ahead, Catherine.
Yes, so I was saying that the situation in the country, is it solely the fault of this administration that has been in office for 1 year? The truth is that it is not solely, you know, it's not a today problem. You know, it's a, you know, it's the effect of many years of bad leadership. And as we all know, it takes more time. It's more, the building process is more difficult than, you know, the process of destruction. So when things are bad.
We have a caller, Catherine. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising. We have lost the caller. Go ahead. When things are bad.
Yeah. So when things are bad, it may take longer to fix those things. But is effort being made? Yes, no doubt. No responsible government.
The caller is trying to call back.
Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Simon. I'm calling from Calabar.
Okay, go ahead, Simon from Calabar. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay. One thing I have always said is that it's not enough for our leader or the presidency and say he has heard the crying and the wailing in Nigeria.
Okay.
It is for him to speak categorically. These are the plans that have been laid down on to discussion the effects, the hardship on the masses. That's one. Two is that they themselves, our leaders, you are telling Nigerians to exercise patience, you are telling Nigerians to deal with the government and so on, but they are not exhibiting to show that they themselves are also sacrificing on their own part.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a father telling a child, look, let's go on a fasting from morning to afternoon. Meanwhile, the father is secretly eating.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. Father to us also hear the burden, the pain that child is true. So how many that child know that yes, that actually what the father is saying is the truth. Now, they not to protect or not to do this. It's not it. And that's why you see life. It's those who live in that house should not choose those. They have forgotten themselves in this protest that planted the government. Protested in 2012. They blocked Ojota. They refused leaving the place on this sense of city. Why are people not to protect?
Okay.
So this should in the army of life that whatever you say comes back to you.
Okay.
Let them allow people and let them get crowd the masses and step on ground to caution the effect. It's not enough to tell Nigerians, oh, we are hearing what you're saying, you're hearing what you're saying, but you are not listening. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Simon, for your call. I think in addition to the macroeconomic policies of the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what really triggered this economic hardship was the sudden removal of the fuel subsidy on the 29th day of May 2023, that is last year. And government is not unaware of how the cost of fuel almost quadrupled, and then the cost of staple food and other food items, you know, shot through the roof. And what beats my imagination is the response by government. Only last week, the House of Representatives, having been troubled by the hardship Nigerians are going through, decided to slash their salary. You know, I've listened to people who say that is like an insult, that they're slashing their salary for only 6 months. That, 50% of their salary, they're going to use it to, as, part of their contribution to cushion the effects of hardship Nigerians are going through. And today, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation convened a meeting with ministers, to discuss, I don't know the outcome of the meeting.
And the NSA.
And NSA, to discuss the hardship Nigerians are passing through. Do you have to wait for Nigerians, young people, to threaten you, through the social media that is even gaining traction, for you to mitigate the suffering of Nigerians? You live in this country. You didn't fall from the sky. You are not aliens. You live here, even though you are living above the rung of the ladder. But you still have dependents that are living far below poverty line. You have dependents. You come from communities that voted for you, for goodness sake. I don't think the meeting being held today is going to mitigate that thing. And this, you know, conveners of these nationwide demonstrations are insisting. Only today, Oluwele Sowore has released social media and information on social media, itemizing or listing areas where this demonstration, the protest will hold. And his target audience have gotten the message, because he's targeting young people, and the demographic young people are social media based audiences. So you can see there's nothing coming out from government to counter that kind of narrative, or to suggest that government is ready to create lasting solution to this you know, huge problem.
And just a rejoinder to one of our callers who mentioned the ostentatious lifestyle of the people in government. Just recently, you know, one of the triggers of this current economic hardship was the removal of the subsidy that now led to the increase in the pump price of fuel. Then it had a ripple effect across the spectrum. Now, recently, the Dangote refinery came on board. Dangote refinery, you know, began to complain about the inability of the refinery to access local crude. And then government responded negatively to it. And then went ahead again to accuse the refinery of supplying bad sulfur reading diesel. Now, all the people that matter in this country in terms of economy, like the Akinwumi Adesina, who is the head of the African Development Bank, and other people that have come down heavily on the system. And because how can you be demarketing your own local industry? So these are some of the issues, because we know that if the Dangote refinery comes on board, it's going to bring down the price of fuel. So why do you now want to sabotage it in the face of this kind of crisis that we're facing?
You are making very, very valid contribution, but we have a caller. Good evening. This is Matters Arising from KAFTAN Television. Your name, please. Your name, please, and where you're calling from. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead. Your name, where you're calling from.
Good evening. John is my name. I'm calling from Abuja.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm calling from Nyanya, Abuja.
Go ahead from here. Yeah, go ahead with your contribution.
I'm really happy with you people that are anchoring this program.
We appreciate. Go ahead. Thank you. We appreciate. Go ahead.
Good. What is happening is, like we say that, Englishman said that what goes round come around. Like Sheikh Bumi, about a week ago, he said that during Jonathan, our president today started a protest against Jonathan in 2012.
That's right.
And now he and his own team, they are going to stage a protest against Tinubu because people are suffering this hardship. And I think about before all these things are coming up, last year they cautioned Tinubu that people are suffering, that they should do something about the hardship of Nigerians. He categorically said that he bought his election, nobody voted him, and nobody should tell him what to do. That is why all these things are happening. But now it's not too late. Yes, it's not too late. If he can feel go to his drawing board and feel that, okay, let me answer these people. Like they said the committee, they should look up to this protest. I think it will save Nigeria, because if it didn't go well that way, I think a lot of things will happen that we cannot handle. Like our sister there said something that the after effect of this protest is our concern.
Yes. Thank you very much, John from Abuja. John, you are on the line of thought.
Yes, I mentioned the issue of government trying to sabotage something that seems to be like a relief, that will bring about relief in terms of sourcing domestic energy for the people to bring down the pump price of fuel. Then look at the cost of governance. Look at the number of vehicles that governors, presidents use in the name of convoy. Look at the issue of presidential jet. At the time, they were asking, there are even some rumors that it's like they have even bought the jet secretly. It's going around there. Then,
and the government has not refuted that.
The government has not said anything so far. You know, so, and so many other things about the kind of government profligacy. And people are saying this. And people are in the face of this kind of massive suffering, then government is living large. So definitely, if people have seen that our leaders, you know, have also tightened their belts, they will understand that these people are leading from the front. But but it is not too late. Just like John, who called from Nyanya, said, we still have time to mend all these problems and bring everybody on board, and then we start seeing practical changes in the system.
Before Catherine says something, we have a caller.
You call my call when I'm not done.
Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry for that. Go ahead.
You call my call, I'm not done.
Go ahead. It's your show. Go ahead, sir.
When President Tinubu was coming, when he was campaigning, he told us that he's not coming to look for Nigerian money, but
go ahead, sir.
But he has used 5 billion to buy yachts that some of Nigerians don't know what is rash. And he proposed to buy, he used Nigerian money to buy 160 million vehicles for 360 House of Rep members. Members of House of Rep. And 200 million to buy another other SUV vehicles for senators. 109 senators.
Okay.
And now he proposed to buy 2 private jets for himself and the vice when he has bought one already for himself, according to what we are hearing.
Okay. Are you done, sir?
In the economy that people are buying a bag of rice, 90,000, 80,000, and they cannot even, some people cannot even have one good meal in a day.
All right. You made so much valid points.
And we have a president that wants to revamp the economy of Nigeria.
Okay, thank you.
God will help us, but let him stop this protest first, so that we'll know how to go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution. John, he has reiterated exactly what you said. Government seem to be living large. You know, the first, what he did mention, the vehicles they bought for themselves at the National Assembly, you know, over 165 million naira for each vehicle. He mentioned, he wanted to mention yacht. I think he was referring to the yacht. There was this rumor of a yacht to be bought for Mr. President.
Because it belongs to the Navy.
Exactly. So in the midst of this, penury, so to speak, by Nigerians, government officials are living large. So it doesn't make sense. And that's why this protest, young people are calling for this kind of protest. And my worry is that Nigeria is a very, very complex country and it's very huge with large population. So what happens in Kenya may be a child's play. I'm not advocating for it, but what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with with all the points that have been made. And like I said in my opening remark, there's really
so
hunger.
Catherine, you're going to continue on that line of thought, but let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. Hello. This is Matters Arising.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from Plateau State, Nigeria.
Okay, your name, please, sir.
My name is Anthony Onanka.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Maucauley, one packet of spaghetti is 1,200 naira in this country, in Nigeria. Break! Come on, break! Come on, break! Bread, the common bread is about 1,300, 500. One bread. A food of local rice is 2,500. How can you think people are surviving and people are dying? You say you are really lost. What type of group is this in this country? And people are dying and suffering. What are you even talking? Let's result ourselves. Let's result ourselves.
Okay. Thank you. We've lost the caller.
So you can, from the
it's
tone,
likely to
from the tone of the callers, you can see that there's pent up anger, there's frustration. People are really angry and hungry, because when you go to the market, you see the despondency on the on the faces and the despair on the faces of people. When they ask about the price of food and they cannot afford it. Somebody came to the market with a plan to buy maybe 2 noodles of rice, but on getting there he can only afford to buy 1, and then he's thinking of his children back home. So there's a lot of problem, so the government also needs to, at this point, the government needs to be very clear, in communicating what it intends to do, or what, so to alleviate the sufferings of the people. But I should also say that whatever the government intends to do, the organizers of the protests, and if the protest happens eventually, the protesters government should not meet them with any kind of force, because it is within their rights to carry out that protest. It is the avenue they have to vent, to let the government know, to let the government know that they are not happy with what is going on. And then also there's something I also observe, usually when there are situations like this, you find that the whole anger is towards the government at the center. So sometimes it seems like the governors are having it easy, because the people are focusing on the president. Everybody is saying Tinubu, yes, he's at the top and the buck stops on his table. But sometimes the federal government does things or sends some stimulus packages to the states, and we forget to ask the governors to account. Because, for instance, under this administration, I know that over 400 billion has been sent to, is it 34 or 35 states, and the FCT under the federal government NGKS program. And those are some of the programs that the government has put in place to address the sufferings of the people. You hear about grains that are sent, fertilizer, from the government to the states. So the citizens must also begin to ask the governors to also account for what they get. This is apart from statutory allocations, all of those things that the federal government sends across. They need to begin to question them, and even down to the local government, especially now that they are going to have some financial autonomy. We need to begin to also ask them to account for the funds that they receive. Where do these funds go to? Where do you channel them? How come the people are not feeling the impact of all of the money that is in the system,
Catherine, we have a
even though it's not enough?
We have a caller, Catherine. Good evening, this is Matters Arising.
My name is Silvanos, calling from Fulda.
Okay, go ahead, Silvanos.
Let Nigeria endure Tinubu government, because we know no matter what you do, you don't see House of Assembly now. They want to extend General of Police tenure. Now, what do we need with that? For me, I don't know if we should have so quote according to the material when I get, not the according to my sign. The Tinubu command. God is why not they listen to us. Because they said palliative and live in Soldier, I never received one. I don't spend over 15 years in Soldier. I have never received one palliative for state government, for federal government, for who. So we should endure the pain. My happiness is this. Not to let me the sufferer. All the people when they say Muslim ticket, how is it now? Now they are falling for the sufferer. Not bad.
Silvanus say, how market? Not be only him the sufferer.
The administration actually began on the wrong footing. The administration began on the wrong footing.
Okay.
By political economics, political economy. You have to tailor your economy to the prevailing dynamics of your environment, not based upon the dynamics that someone else will bring from somewhere to superimpose on the dynamics of your own country. That is the root of this problem. When the president made that statement, subsidy is gone, it triggered a wave of economic crisis that we are also feeling now.
Okay. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising.
Okay, Matters Arising, good evening.
Good evening, sir. You're welcome. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Thank you. I'm calling from Auchi, Edo State.
Okay. Your name?
I want to contribute. My name is Ochanganoko.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Well done, eh?
Thank you.
I want to say that this planned protest is a very welcome development, so that we can use it to to voice out our anger, our displeasure, our bitterness before the government, so that they will know that they are not ruling us as human beings. They are ruling us according to their own plan in this country, and it's unacceptable. Our leaders are living big, living large, enjoying everything, every good thing of life. Then that they are pushing us to eat from dustbin. A woman went to the market and waka with the money he has. She went to the market. She could not buy vegetable. It was not enough for her to buy vegetable. So she has to come to my house to come and pluck bitter leaf that she will use to cook soup. If this woman complain to you bitterly, you will see that it's not only her, because this one is an old woman, she has children. But there are so many who do not have the children she had, and yet whatever they are giving to her is, whatever her child is giving to her cannot take care of her and her family.
Okay.
I want to talk on that minister for whether or something for Ananuga. What that man said, Nigerians need to hold him responsible. If I were President Buhari and he's not supporting those kind of people, he will sack him by saying that Nigerians will get the worst, the worst that they bargain for. All those kind of people are not the people that are supposed to speak for President Tinubu. Those people, they are spoiling and they are creating problems, and they are aggravating our annoyance.
Okay, thank you.
If this thing hold, let Nigerians do whatever they like. If they want to burn this country, let them burn it. But everybody will go.
No, we don't pray for that.
No.
We don't.
That's not the aim.
We don't pray for that.
Yeah.
We don't pray for that.
What our leaders are, what they are doing is enough. It's enough to say, if they want to kill everybody, let them kill everybody.
Thank you very much for your call. Thanks for your contribution. That is his personal opinion. It's not the opinion of KAFTAN television. We have to make that clear, John.
I think we shouldn't go that trajectory.
Just go ahead with your...
All right. So, like I was trying to lay the foundation to this problem. Now, if you look at the economic, the political economics of the world, countries actually table their economies based on what is prevalent and the dynamics of their country, not based on the advice of breathing rules institutions like the IMF. What happened in Kenya was because the president of Kenya, Ruto, took the wrong advice of the IMF and then threw his country into crisis. And that is exactly what we are facing in Nigeria now.
We have a caller. Good evening, this is Matters Arising from KAFTAN television.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Hello? I'm calling from Jos.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm Lady Azure Onanga.
Okay, go ahead.
So, husband and wife, they are no longer living together because of hunger. They divorce each other. No food. Children cannot tell their father welcome or their mother welcome when they come back because they did not come with any food.
Okay.
So they are suffering.
Thank you so
They can't
much.
pay their school fees.
Thank you.
You go to filling station, a liter is 850 or to 900. With
Thank you very much for your call. Like Catherine, you said earlier on, there's this despair and despondency when you hear Nigerians talk about their own country. And the suffering, hardship has pervaded the entire length and breadth of the land. And let's take this caller. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising.
Onitsha, Anambra State.
From Onitsha, Anambra State. Go ahead with your comments, sir.
Okay. Something makes me confused in this protest. What I mean is that is the protest is going to why everybody in Nigeria nobody wants to be a farmer.
Okay.
They want to go back. If you treat the ask your child now, what will be in the school? The other one engineer. Nobody talking about farming at all. So, if the protest is to teach our children to go back to farm. I can remember in 1980s, I am a farmer. I am in the village that time. I'm farming. Whenever I want to pay my school fees, my mother will say, go and in the farm and carry cassava, go sell and pay your school fees. Sometimes I go carry cassava. If you reach for market, cassava everywhere. They go price you one bag of cassava 5 million. So that I can come back.
Okay, thank you.
By that 1980, I was a per one pepper. I can carry 1 gallon of per one, go to market. They will price it 5 naira. Because it's surplus, everybody in the village doing farming. But now, everybody run to Abuja, run to Lagos, run to township. Nobody is in the village farming. We are shouting hunger, 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 hunger. It's supposed to be like that.
Thank you so very much. He's talking about rural-urban drift, comparing it with good old days where everybody used to be a farmer and food was in abundance for everybody to eat. Now, with general insecurity that's taking over all the farmlands, people no longer go to farms. On that note, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, Matters Arising will continue in a moment. Please stay with us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world. We're not just bragging, we know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okoro and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, Startimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, you're welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, this is Matters Arising from KAFTAN Television Studios, coming to you live from the studios in Abuja. And we're here discussing economic hardship currently facing Nigerians and the planned nationwide protest. We're taking a look at the timing, reactions, and implications of that planned nationwide protest. Guys, before we went on that short break, we were talking about the last caller did talk about farming, and he took us back to those good old days where almost everybody is a farmer because our parents were farmers, and there was so much food, in abundance for everybody to eat. It was never an issue for you to have food on the table, 3 square meals, even 4 square meals, even 6 square meals. But now we are talking about, here we are confronted with supply inflation. And this thing that led to this planned demonstrations is all about food. It's about inflation.
About hunger.
It's about hunger. And when you say inflation, it's English, it's high English. To come back to the Nigerian parlance, the common man's language is people are hungry. That is the issue.
Yeah, the guy, he talked about agriculture. Yes, one of the reasons we have food insecurity in the country today is because of the insecurity that is, prevailing insecurity in the country, because people no longer feel safe to go to their farms because of the insecurity. You hear cases of people that went to farm and then they were, attacked in the farms, and some lost their lives. So you find that there is a rural-urban drift as a result of the insecurity in the rural areas. The other day somebody was complaining about the high cost of rent in my home state capital, and I said to him that I think that it is linked with the insecurity, because the hinterlands are no longer secure. So everybody is moving towards the state capital where they feel secure, and there are limited houses. So when the supply is short and demand is higher, the product is bound to be expensive. So that is the challenge. So I think that to fix the food insecurity, the government should, try to resolve the insecurity in the country, because if people do not feel safe enough to farm, they won't go to their farms, and that's just it. Because nobody wants to lose their lives in the course of looking for what they will eat.
Yes, and what the government should do now to at least help in having more supply of food is to invest massively in agriculture, because over the years there's been a lot of neglect of that particular sector. Everybody has been chasing the petrodollar.
John, you will continue on that line of thoughts. Let's take this caller.
It's all right.
Good evening, sir. Welcome to Matters Arising. Your name? Beg your pardon, your name, please?
Am I obliged to say anything again?
Yeah, go ahead. It's your show. Go ahead, sir.
Because what I want to say now is that it's an adage. Yes, let the antiquity go back to the ancestors and tell them that Nigerians did not accept the sacrifice.
Okay.
What does that mean?
What does that mean, sir? Can you break it down for us?
What does that mean?
Where?
I think his line is epileptic. He's not friendly enough.
Okay, the one that called from Onitsha?
The one that called from Onitsha.
All right. Okay. So I think government has to do something about food. Like one of the major problems here today is the issue of insecurity within the agricultural beds across the country, from the Benue Basin, starting all the way from Taraba down to Benue State. Then even if you go to the northwest, where you have a lot of people farming onions, tomatoes, carrots, and the rest of them. This is very important thing. Pepper, you have issues there in the northwest, in San Francisco, and everywhere. So it's about solving the insecurity, and it's also about investing massively in agriculture, because over the years we neglected that critical sector. Everybody, like Justin from Onitsha talked about, we have been moving, chasing petrodollar, and agriculture used to be the mainstay of this nation's economy before the discovery of oil in this country. So we must return to agriculture, because America is the #1 country in the world in terms of technology. America is also the #1 country in the world in terms of agriculture. After the World War, Europe was in total destruction. It was America, through the Marshall Plan, that fed Europe.
That's right.
America is the #1 country today in agriculture. Despite the fact that they are the #1 country in technology. If you don't eat,
that is very
how will you even have power to become the #1 in technology if you don't eat?
I have a friend who always said to me that we don't like ourselves. Benue State used to pride itself as the food basket of the nation. With the prevailing insecurity that's taken over all the farmlands in Benue State, I doubt if Benue State can pride itself as the food basket of Nigeria.
Empty.
Because you are from Benue State, Catherine. Am I right to say so?
Yeah, I'm from Benue. And what you said is true.
The basket
is leaking. The basket is getting empty because the farmlands have been taken over. People have been displaced from their homes because of insecurity. You go to the IDP camps, there are people that were dislodged and they've been there for many years. They don't even have any hopes of ever going back home because those places have been taken over.
Okay. Hello, good evening. This is Matters Arising. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I come back. I lost my call before from Monica.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Your network is not that friendly tonight.
Okay. So,
go ahead.
let me make my point here now.
Okay, you have 30 seconds, sir.
So, my point is that those people that planning the protest,
yes,
let them teach our children. Let us teach our Nigerians. Let us remember farm, to go back to our farm. So not telling the other man say let's born Nigeria. If we born Nigeria, what again we get for the body? But if we born Nigeria, we do what again?
Exactly.
So let us touch our children. If we have 4 children or 3, let one go be engineer, other 2 go to the farm. That will make Nigeria great. Let us teach our children what to do about farming.
Okay.
Not if we do the protest tomorrow, this first of the what again are we going to gain? If we born Nigeria, what again we gain?
That's right.
If we could hijack the protest and destroying people's property like NSAS, what is gain? I will gain there. So if I have the authority, I will tell them, let them go teach the Nigerians, channel their mind how to go back to farm instead of channeling their mind to go protest and keep people in the streets or burn government property in the streets. So that's my own mind. So people should learn, learn for peace, not for pieces.
Thank you so much.
So.
Yeah, that's quite a patriotic,
very patriotic
intervention. You know, because if we burn down the country, where we don't have any other country than Nigeria, so in whatever we do, whether we are protesting or we are not protesting, we must always remember, have it at the back of our minds that Nigeria is our country. It belongs to us all, and we owe a duty to protect the country and to ensure that this country remains as one. It is the duty of the government as much as it is the duty of the citizens.
Okay, thank you. We have another caller before John chips in something. Good evening. This is Matters Arising.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name, sir, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, go ahead with your contribution.
I'm Mr. Colombo from Buhari, Abuja.
Go ahead, sir. We can hear you loud and clear. It's your show.
Yes, yes, somebody is telling us to go back to farm. I don't think that person is aware of insecurity. And that is our problem. So, to provide security for farmers is one of the reasons for the protest. That is why we support this protest to take place. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
The chapter 2 of the Constitution, which is the fundamental objectives and the directive principle of state policy, says that the primary aim of government is to cater for the welfare of the people.
Yes.
The legitimacy of government is because the people are behind them. No people, no government. The government will have our workers that we employed to work for us. So when the people say that there is a problem, the government has no choice but to stop and listen and do something.
Okay. We have a caller. Good evening. Hello? This is Matters Arising.
Hello?
Go ahead, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
It's Mr. Onanka from Joff again.
Again, go ahead, sir, Mr. Onanka.
What I want to contribute there is that man where they talk from monitor, where they say, where they go back to, where they make the poor people go back to farm. Let Senate leave their children and come, let them go back to farm and the House of Assembly. Let them go and vice president, let them their children go back to, not to send them to abroad, to go and study there, and poor people are go back to farm, and people, herdsmen, kill them.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Onanka, calling from John. We can feel your concern. We have 30 minutes each to make our
30 seconds rather.
Passing shots.
30 seconds, you mean?
30 seconds, yes.
All right. All I have to say is that no one wants to come out on the street and protest. That's the reality. But sometimes when people are pushed to the wall, they have no other option but to react. That may be the issue here. But this protest could still be stopped if the government has the right strategic communication to link up with the people and assuage their feelings. And beyond that, the low-hanging fruit, let the people start saying something now, that something is happening. If the president comes out to say something now to the people and people start seeing the results, I think the whole of this protesting will just die a natural death.
Okay.
Yeah, the Nigerian people have spoken. They are not happy, and the government needs to listen and act even without protesting. The government has also, has already heard what the people are saying. So the government needs to show the people, practically that it is concerned about their plight and that it is doing something to alleviate the suffering. There needs to be practical things on the ground for the people to see. That is the only way the people will be convinced that indeed the government has listened to their cries and wants to act. People just want to eat and be alive.
Well, it is on record that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has continued to release stimulus packages that he has sent across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. And only last week, members of the House of Representatives, all of them have decided by way of consensus to slash their salary by 50% as their own modest contribution to cushion the effect of hardship. And only today, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, had convened a meeting with ministers where they also took a holistic look at the planned nationwide protest. Government has about 4 days to the D-Day of the planned nationwide protest. So let's wait and see, with crossed fingers, to see what government will come out with that can really dissuade or discourage and stop or mitigate this planned nationwide planned strike. Well, this is how far we can go on our package tonight on Matters Arising. We thank our viewers and our vibrant callers for making the program interactive. Whatever anybody said, by way of calling, is their personal view, is not the view of KAFTAN Television. And on behalf of our producer, Ruben Okala, and the entire production team that made the program possible, I remain yours truly, Maucauley Hunohashi. Good night, and see you next time.
And I am John Okoro. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
And I am Catherine Agbo. Have a good night.
And as we say on KAFTAN Television, imagine a beautiful world.